Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figured Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
This is where I would have said, oh, we're done. One more thing. One more thing.
Prepare yourselves.
Prepare yourselves. You guys might remember this. It's maybe the most famous prototype console ever is suddenly back on the scene. I present unto you the return of the Nintendo PlayStation prototype, which is now referred to, because of some talks with Sony, as the PlayStation 0. We're dropping the Nintendo element because if this was Nintendo's property, you'd all see a cease and desist in here. But Sony will allow us to do this. So the PlayStation 0 returns with its original controller, and RIP to the late Terry Diebold, who was cool enough to bring this onto the scene originally and let everybody see it and play it and experience it. This, for a few hours today, will be viewable at the Sega Lounge. Ooh. Sega does what Nintendo don't. Right.
It is crazy popular in here. Everybody's kind of amassed around our nice little treasure trove of things.
Guys, look! Newborns! Hey guys, it's Adam here, and today we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of really cool things that you see here in front of me. Before we do that though, if you guys could do me a favor, like this video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done that before, as well as check out all my social media stuff in the description. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, my Spreadshirt, travel channel. I appreciate the support on all those platforms so much. Let's talk about it. Now, first things first, a lot of this stuff is on loan to me very temporarily from the Museum of the Game at arcademuseum.com, and you can check out some stuff there. Some of the stuff you already know, such as the Sega Pluto prototype, which is over here. I've done whole videos on it. This is something I tour around with. I know you guys already know. But it's basically an upgraded version of the Sega Saturn that Sega was working on. It has a built-in modem, built-in hard drive, and there's only 2 in the world. Here it is on this table. Again, whole videos. Over here, the Atari Jaguar dental equipment, which I also have done videos on in the past. Long story short, Atari goes out of business. They sell the molds to a dental company called Imogen. They make thousands of the shells, but they only make 4 of the actual units. This is a camera. This is the thing that was on the wall in the dentist's office. Prototypes only. We have one right here. Now, you've seen those. You've heard those stories on this channel before. So I'm going to show you some stuff that you wouldn't expect to see. Over here, this is a prototype mouse for the Mac. And yeah, it's just here from 1984. This one is from 1967. This is like one of the first mice ever. It was Douglas Engelbart, I think. Yeah, I might be butchering the pronunciation, but yeah, I'm not big into the PC stuff. It's here. My whole point is we've got it. But we do have here, though, the Atari Graduate, one of one. This was originally set for, well, it was demoed at CES in 1983. The idea was you could put this on the Atari 2600 and basically upgrade it to a PC, effectively. But the video game crash happened in 1983, and then Atari was still making money off the PCs, and they decided not to compete with themselves. Literally one of one is just sitting right there. But obviously, the thing we all want to talk about, the return of the Nintendo PlayStation prototype. Once the property of the late Terry Diebold, this has been sold and is now in the possession of the Museum of the Game, who was very cool to let us have temporary possession of it. So you can see, if you had never seen my videos on this in the past, this is what Sony and Nintendo were working on infamously together before the whole project was canceled and it ended and everything. Which is a whole long story that we don't need to go over today. I just wanted to show everybody, yes, this is back on the scene. This is going to be shown up, at least it's here at Portland Retro Game Expo 2024. It may show up in some other places down the road, but for now, it is safe, it is still real, everybody can enjoy it. If you've never seen it before, it does have a disc drive. This was a proprietary format called the Super Disc. That was kind of, think like the Sega CD. It was just going to kind of be its own thing, and it would play Super Nintendo / Super Famicom games. Has 2 controller ports, it has a headphone jack. This machine was built by Sony, it was not built by Nintendo, though it had originally been authorized by them. One thing I remember from testing this years ago that we learned is if you run a cartridge game on it, you're playing it, and you put a music CD in there, the audio of the music CD overrides the cartridge. So you basically get to play the CD audio music while you're playing the game. Part of me wonders if they had ever thought about maybe doing like what we now think of as DLC, like upgrade discs for already pre-existing games. Who really knows, but it would have been cool. On the back, you'll see it has a special expansion port called Next. It also has native composite and S-video out, as well as a multi-AV out. This, we know firsthand from years ago, does support RGB, just like the Super Nintendo does, and of course it has a power supply. Very awesome system. It also contains an eject button. When you push it, it obviously just pops the cartridge out, kind of similar to a Super Famicom or how a Super Nintendo works, and a reset button. Now, the other cool thing is, we have two controllers. This controller is the original one that Terry used to bring around to cons. He would play it with a normal Super Nintendo controller, but for display purposes, you would see this. Now this one has the screen printing of Sony PlayStation on it, just like Sony made, but on the back, it still referred to itself as a Nintendo Super Famicom controller. Now here's the cool thing. Not that long ago, there was another listing for a Nintendo PlayStation, or now PlayStation 0 controller, that looks like this. It's right here, and really interestingly, on the back, in plastic, it refers to itself as the Sony PlayStation controller, making it debatably the first controller ever labeled as Sony PlayStation.
It has never been connected to the system before. This is a moment. Boom. We officially have two PlayStation 0 controllers connected to the system.
And henceforth, by the way, we have decided this is to be referred to as the PlayStation 0, just because, yeah, Sony made it. Nintendo didn't make this. And I think that that's really, really neat. And it's just awesome to have it just back on the scene. And of course, you know, seeing all this great stuff all at the exact same time in one table like this, you know that's amazing. In the back.
So I thought some millionaire bought it and basically sealed it away from anyone being able to
No, this is actually, other than the Jaguar Dental Unit and the Pluto, all of this is on loan from the Museum of the Game at arcade-museum.com, and they were very, very, obviously, very cool to let us use this. This stuff is not being hidden away. It was just kind of partially a mix of COVID protocols and everything. You gotta remember this thing was sold in 2020. So its time has come back. Yeah. Can we all just give a shout out to the Museum of the Game? Thank you so much for everything they did for us. Yeah, if you want to visit them, by the way, arcade-museum.com.
We still didn't know what we had. We just knew we had something unique and special. And that's when Dixon Wu brought us over to Retro.hk in Hong Kong with this thing. And that was the first expo we were ever at.
I want to thank you for all the service you've done for that.
No problem.
Because it's just crazy that, you know, so many people got to experience this.
Yeah,
a lot of people got happiness out of that.
In the museum, but a lot more people got to see it all over the world because of the way me and my son presented this to the world.
So I want to give a huge shout out to everybody who participated in this. My buddy Jesse, of course, who supplied this. My buddy Roger, who supplied that. And obviously Museum of the Game for supplying the rest of this. Again, check out their website. There will be a link in the description to that as well. And if you guys enjoyed this content, just seeing this thing again, please do me a favor, like the video, comment down below, subscribe again if you've never done it before. And check out all the social media stuff in the description. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, Travel Channel, etc. Appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.